Hello, and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming. Thank you for tuning in to another Spicy Toast video. Today we'll be taking a look at Darius and a guide for him for Path of Champions. If you enjoy this sort of video, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. We'll start off with an overview just so that you can know if this is a champion that is right for you, and if you actually want to invest your time as well as shards into unlocking them. So first we have aggressive. Darius is a very aggressive playstyle. You're trying to end the game very quickly, and all of your star powers and bonuses go towards you being aggressive, high power, but no defense. So high investment. Darius is one that really needs his third rank star power, at least if you're going to go against some of the tougher opponents in the game. That really gives you a lot of power. So if you want to be playing him, especially against tougher opponents, you probably want to get all 3 star powers on him, as well as quite a bit of levels. No defense. So we touched on this with the aggressive. You're always wanting to be attacking. Quite often you are not able to block. You're wanting to save your units for attacking. And so you're always trying to keep the pressure on because you don't really have any way to defend yourself. Next is support platform. So Darius, with his star powers that we'll get into right after this, he's able to really help some other champions, and sometimes you're really just going to build around your support champions. So if you like being able to really have a very varied playstyle with playing a lot of different support champions and building around them instead of Darius himself, then this is a quite fun champion to play. Next we have unit focused. So Darius, you do have a couple spells, but you're really focused on attacking with your units. And lastly, we have backup win condition. So Darius is a very good game finisher. So even if you're building around other champions, you have Darius in your back pocket to close out the game. Normally you're not going to want to get to the mana cost to play Darius, but if your game does go a bit longer, he's able to close out the game for you. Alright, that's it for the overview. Let's go take a look in-game and further explain some of the things we touched on here. In-game now with Darius, you see we have him at level 25 and 3 stars. So he is a 6-cost champion with Overwhelm and starts out as a 6/6. His level up is I see the enemy nexus has half of its starting health or less. So when he levels up, he goes then to 10 attack and 7 health. So very powerful. So he can really help close out those games as his level up is already seeing the nexus is below half health. He levels up and just helps close it out. His champion spell, Decimate, deal 4 to the enemy nexus, create a Darius in your deck. So this is 6 cost, pretty expensive, but you are able to do a large chunk of damage to the enemy nexus. So further helping you close out the game and leveling up your Darius if he's not leveled already. Taking a look at the star powers. So Noxian Might rank 2. Each round, the first time you summon an ally, grant it +4 power and Overwhelm. If you just had the first version of this, it would give you the +2 power, but you wouldn't get that Overwhelm effect. So that really would limit you, because quite often your units will then just get blocked out and killed because a lot of them have very low health. So you really need that Overwhelm so that even if your units die, you're still able to damage the enemy nexus with their large amount of power. And again, this is just for the first time you summon an ally each round. So every round you want to be summoning an ally, but probably just one, unless you just need like extra blockers, since you're only going to get this effect once. So rank 2, Carve a Path, +1 starting mana. Each round, the first time you attack with 15 plus total power, Rally. So you're getting a large amount of power with Noxian Might, and so then when you attack, if you have over that 15 power, you're going to get that Rally off. So quite often you're trying to save your units to attack so you can get that Rally and attack again. So another reason why you're quite often not blocking, because you don't want your units to die, you want them to attack. If we take a look at his starting deck, so for 1 cost we have an Affectionate Poro, 2/2 with that Studded Leather and Challenger. Crimson Disciple for 2 mana. When I survive damage, deal 1 to the enemy nexus. And it has Thieves' Tools, Death's Hand, deal 2 to an enemy and 1 to the enemy nexus. Just a 2 cost with that mana potion, so gives you a decent bit of removal for some of the weaker champions, and then also a little bit of nexus damage. Legion Grenadier, Last Breath, deal 1 to the enemy nexus, and it gives you that Spirit Stone, so when I'm summoned, create a fleeting copy of me in hand. This can be quite nice if you can also get the item that when you play him, you refill mana equal to his cost. So since you already have 1/2 of that combo, what you can do, if you get that, you can then just keep playing him over and over again, because he'll keep making a copy in your hand and keep refilling your mana. So you can just have an entire board full of this unit. So keep an eye out for that. Very powerful combo if you're able to get it, get lucky. We have Iron Ballista, so Overwhelm with Challenger. Now, quite often you're not going to need the Overwhelm since you're going to get it from your star powers, but if Darius isn't 3 stars yet, that Overwhelm will really help you out. And then with the Challenger and the 3 health, you can sometimes attack a unit that won't actually have enough power to kill you, and so you can sometimes get multiple attacks, which is quite nice. Thorn of the Rose, so it has Philosopher's Stone. When I'm summoned, to draw 1. Very weak health, but a large amount of attack. So this can really help you get that 15 power to rally, but it's probably going to die the first time it attacks as long as there's any blockers. And then, yeah, when it's summoned, it creates this Guile, letting you stun an enemy. Trifarian Assessor. So this can go down to a 3 cost with that Ancient Coin. Very nice. When I'm summoned, draw 1 for each 5+ ally you have. So very easy to get over that 5+ threshold with your star power, giving you a nice amount of draw. Bloody Business, so 4 cost, reputation at cost 2. An ally with 5+ power strikes an enemy. This is also the card you get with LeBlanc as a support champion. So she's someone you might want to look out for, as you can double up on this spell. So if she has an item on it, it can really be quite good. But it lets you strike an enemy without them striking you back. Always very powerful. And then the Fabricator, very strong. As you can see, all of your cards are pretty cheap, except for Darius himself. You're really trying to be a early game deck. And so with Darius being 6 cost, you're normally not going to want to even play him because you're not wanting to get enough mana to be able to play him. You want the game ending before that amount. That's why if you look over here at the relics, these are all passive relics that Darius doesn't need to be on the board to play. Since you really can't block quite often, you want the game to end as soon as possible so that you're not having to take a lot of Nexus damage from not blocking. So if we look at the relics, what I like to run is 2 Starchild Staff and then a Z-Drive Prototype. So game start healer Nexus 5. With 2 of these, you're getting 10 Nexus health at the start of the game. In addition to the, I believe it is 4, you have leveled up from your champion levels or legend levels. So you're already getting a massive amount of health, pretty much half your health almost, every single game. So even if you take a couple hits from the enemy, you're still able to be full health for the next round or the next game. Quite nice. Z-Drive Prototype, you're really wanting to get a cheap support champion so that you can just stack them up and use them to win you the game. So getting a couple rerolls, quite nice. Now, if you are not wanting to use support champions, there are some other good relics you can use. So when I level up Rally, not bad with Darius, since his level up condition, he's going to get a lot of attack, and so you want to be able to use that right away. Gale Force can be quite funny with Darius, quite strong, getting 2 attacks in, especially if you pair what I think everyone goes to initially with Darius and can be quite strong, the Gatebreaker. So when I'm summoned, I strike the enemy Nexus. So when you play him, he's able to level up, you're able to hit the Nexus, and potentially end the game right there. So that can be very nice to do. But again, normally you're not wanting to play Darius anyways. That's why I'm not running Gatebreaker. I've tried it out before. It can work quite well, but I found it's better to try to just end the game before Darius is even playable. But again, if you're going with Darius, the Grand General's Counterplan and the Deceiver's Crest can be quite good. The Deceiver's Crest is probably a bit better for Darius. If we look at his champion spell, it's Decimate and it costs 6. So the Grand General's Counterplan, if you are playing Darius, you want to end that round. So having to wait another round for this to go off and create another Darius in hand to turn into that Decimate, that's a bit much. But the Deceiver's Crest, you can throw one or a couple of these on Darius, and it's going to make some zero-cost Decimates to help either end the game or at least trigger Darius's level up so that he can end the game. So definitely something to pay attention to and can be quite good. Troll King's Crown, allies have Overwhelm. So if you don't have Darius at 3 stars, then the Overwhelm can be pretty decent. The Scourge's Stash, Plunder, I cost 2 less. If you do have that 3 star powers, then most of your units are going to have Overwhelm. So you can try to cheat Darius out a bit earlier and end the game at 4 mana when you're able to play him. Not bad. I did try the Scourge's Stash and Gatebreaker, and it worked out okay. But the playstyle that I'll get into, especially with the Galio run that I'll post tomorrow, I found it worked out quite better just trying to rely on a cheap support champion and using them with your star powers to end the game. 4 commons other than Starchild Staff and Prototype. Banshee's Veil can be decent if you are relying on Darius to end the game. Quick Attack, so that Darius isn't going to get blocked out, can also be quite nice. You normally don't need the Chameleon's Necklace because he's 6 costs, so probably by the time you are able to play him, he'll be in your hand. Also, Challenger can be not bad, so you know he can challenge a weak health unit, so more of his damage is actually going to go through and hit the Nexus because of that Overwhelm. So this is about it for the relics. Let's go take a look at the powers in-game that you might want to grab for Darius. Taking a look at those powers now. So first we have Domination, Round Start, Rally. So you're wanting to be able to attack every single round with your units. So being able to have that rally, very nice. And then if you can trigger the rally from your star power, so you're attacking twice every round, very, very strong. Definitely good for Darius, as you're always wanting to be on the offensive. Trifarian Might, when you summon a 5+ power ally, it strikes the weakest enemy. Very, very good for Darius. You can see it even has his Decimate icon for it. Almost all of your units are going to be hitting that 5+ power threshold or more. So just about every unit you're summoning each round is going to be striking the enemy. Very nice, gives you a ton of removal and very strong on Darius. The best defense, allies have grow my attack, or attack, grow my health to match my power. So incredibly strong on Darius. Most of your units have a huge amount of attack or huge amount of power, but very low health pools. So this actually makes your units very tanky as well as very offensive. Very good. This way you can actually end up taking blocks and you don't have to worry about taking as much Nexus damage each round when you decide you don't want to block and you just let the enemy essentially hit you for free. So very nice. One of the most powerful powers for Darius. Definitely grab any of these if you see them in game. On to the next group of powers now. So Crush, allies have Overwhelm. If you already have Darius at 3 stars, then this is actually quite bad since most of your units are going to have Overwhelm anyways. But if you're not at that 3 powers yet, then this is one of the best powers. So this will be down to you and what level your Darius is at. So this is either one of the best or one of the worst. Fixer Upper, give your weakest ally 3/3 this round. This is quite nice for being able to hit that 15 power threshold with your attack and get that rally off, as well as just helping your units be a little bit stronger so that they can potentially take more blocks. So very good all-round power. Rush them down when you summon an ally, give it 1/1 this round. Again, just helping you potentially hit that 15 power threshold so that when you're attacking, you're hitting that rally and you can really keep the pressure on the enemy. All right, that's it for the powers I wanted to touch on. Let's go take a look at the most important aspect for Darius, at least in my opinion, the support champions. Support champions for Darius. So normally support champions are more of a nice bonus to have, but with Darius, he's actually one of the champions that I find you really want to get a good support champion, use your rerolls on the support champion, and build around them quite often. So first we have Quick Attack. With Darius, since you're giving your units a large amount of attack, you want them to be able to attack the enemy but not get hit in return because they have such weak health pools. So getting Quick Attack either on the support champion or their support units, very nice to have, can definitely help you swing matches in your favor. And next is Cheap Champion. So for the support champion you're looking at, you quite often want them to be 2, maybe 3 power. That way you can play them in one of the first 2 rounds and use them to get a lot of momentum and potentially end the game in one of those rounds. So for support champions, first we have Lucian. So you have Quick Attack, he costs 2. Being able to play him and get him attacking the enemy, very, very strong. When he levels up, he gets double attack, so you're able to deal a massive amount of damage with that overwhelm that you'll be granting him with your star powers. Very strong champion, definitely one you can completely build around using all of your champion chests to give more copies of Lucian in your deck. And he can really help you win your games very fast. Next we have LeBlanc. So she's 3 cost, but she scales with 5+ power allies attacking enemies. And then also her champion spell, or her champion effect of cloning a ally. You can get LeBlanc really high, use her effect to clone herself, and then attack, get over that 15 power threshold very easily. She also has Quick Attack. She works out very well with Darius. One of her support spells is the same spell that Darius has. The ally with 5+ power strikes an enemy. So you're essentially getting more copies of that in your deck, potentially with another really good item on it. So LeBlanc actually scales quite well with Darius, even though she is 3 costs, but with that Quick Attack and other benefits we mentioned, can be very good. And lastly, Jax. So 2 cost, he has Quick Attack, very, very good. And you can really protect him well if you get a lot of copies in your deck. Jax is able to give himself Barrier with his champion spell. So it has a good amount of survivability, but also can help you end the game very fast with him being very cheap. So normally how I play Darius is for support champions, that's where I'm using my rerolls. I'm trying to get one of these cheap, powerful champions, potentially with Quick Attack, and trying to just build around them so that by the time I'm against Galio or any of these later fights, I'm just able to play my champion right away at 2 mana and use them to end the game in the first couple of rounds. So that's how I play Darius. Definitely tune in to our Darius versus Galio matchup, as it'll be very interesting to see how it actually plays in action. Works out a lot better, in my opinion, than just relying on Darius himself. Normally you're wanting to end the game before Darius is even on the board. So that's it for this guide. Definitely comment down below what you thought. Definitely like and subscribe. And tune in to our video tomorrow of Darius versus Galio to see this guide in action.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching that video all the way to the end. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. We're putting out multiple videos every single day for Path of Champions content. So if that interests you, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and welcome to the channel. Have a great day.